So I'd mentioned it before, but this is a Case IH 6650 chisel plow. Right now it's 11 shanks. I think at one point it was 13 shank. That would probably be, we've looked into potentially getting the 2 more shanks and putting them where it looks like they went. I think the tractor would be right on the cusp of whether or not this tractor could pull it. We have some pretty heavy clay in places where I think it'd really make the tractor work. So right now at 11 pairs up pretty nicely with this. But when I was looking for a chisel a couple years ago, this one was just one that really stood out for the value. Growing up, working at my dad and my uncle's farm, they had a white chisel plow. I think it's a 435, just single tires on each side. This is a tandem. The thing that we always saw with that is it was relatively a little too light for the ground, so if you were in heavier ground it would almost be shifting from side to side, and you could tell it was just a little light. Turn around quick. Well, so then in I don't know, I think it was around 2010, my dad and his brothers, they actually got a new Landau chisel plow, 13 shank, that they actually paired with their John Deere 9200, and that thing was a beast. Honestly, that thing did such a good job. You could be in the heaviest of soils, and that thing would stay smooth, stay in the ground. That thing did a really good job. So when I was looking for something, I knew something like that was a little out of my price range, but just kind of looking at the different models that were out there and how I think they do. Some of them are built a lot lighter, even if they have the number of shanks that we were looking for, which was about 11. My dad and them, the original chisel, I think was a 9 shank white, like I said, the 435, but they actually built frames off eeach side and were able to get 4 more shanks on it at one point, so then it was a 13. But even with that, and even with building the frame to the side, which worked well, still kind of ran into the issue of it was rather light. So we pulled that towards the end. I think they took about 2 shanks off and pull it with a John Deere 8440, and then their Landau would be pulled by the 9200, or they also got an 8650. But this 8245R, that handles this chisel really well in its current state with the 11 shanks. So it's kind of a random talk about chisel plows, but as I'm out here and kind of seeing how everything is doing, I figured it'd be fun to do a little bit of a talk.